living of the outer masks. That which shall affirm or deny lies in what you are. And when you deny what you have become, then you are as the one known as Peter, saying, "No, I do not know the one known as Jesus. You must be thinking of someone else." This entity, Peter, was of such a quality, such a fine and good nature and kind, that his leadership was known to the teacher, and his subsequent leadership has birthed both the good and the ill of that which you now know as Christianity. This was not a weak or cowardly man, and yet he denied that he knew. My friends, how easy it is not to know, how easy it is not to be, how very difficult from time to time it becomes to be who your teachings have led you to become. There was no rancor in the teacher's voice when he told his disciple, "You shall deny me." There was only knowledge of the difficulty of responsibility, and this is what we speak to you of this evening, my friends. Each of you is responsible for what you have learned, for what you believe you may have learned. You have learned, for what you believe you may have learned, and for what you are considering. We do not suggest to you that there is a sure knowledge, nor one that is even available to those wiser than ourselves, for our teachers do not claim to know all that may be known in what you would call any intellectual manner. It is the heart of things to which we speak, to strike when we suggest that you are responsible to be yourself. We suggest further that you will find that difficult, and we suggest further that there is no unfortunate part in this apparent dichotomy, for that which you find difficult is that from which you learn. Therefore, your very difficulty in expressing what you have learned teaches you. There is a purpose to your mistakes, as you would call them. There is a reason for your confusion. You did not arrive upon this sphere intending to withdraw from this plane in the same condition, the estate in which you came. You intended to know the Creator in more glory and in more accountability. You intended a great safari, and your game is the nature of love. That is your prey. The caliber of your weapon is the measure of how carefully you examine the difficulties that you are having in being yourself. Never judge yourself on seemingly outer behavior. Continually attempt to learn. Peter, we say to you, you shall deny love 1,000,000 times, and in each denial you will come to know me better. And all the strangers that say to you, are you not the one who knows love? That which causes you to deny are aiding you. Do not forget to thank them in memory, for such are the ways of the learning of love, that the paths of the creatures who learn it are twisted, and many who appear to be fair prove difficult, and those who are most difficult are most mightily fair, for they have given you another denial and another step. Shall you find love, then, my friends? You have no choice. You cannot reckon with your own nature. Shall you find it quickly? In that, my friends, you have a great choice. I bow humbly before you and thank you. If any word of mine has offended you, remove it from your mind. It gives us great pleasure to be of any service to this group, and we thank those who have called us. We have come in the beatific love and the infinite light of the one Creator, Adonai Vasu.
Welcome to the Law of One, conscious channeling of LL Research. I am Hatan, and I greet you, my brothers and sisters, in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. Tonight, we desire to share with you a tale of two cities, so to speak. The first was a city of no great size, possessed of no great abilities, neither powerful in war nor in learning, yet a place of calm and of repose for the soul. For it was the nature of these people to seek that which cannot be acquired upon the physical plane. The other city, in contrast, was composed of individuals, of people who sought and fought, who pursued their ambitions, people who attempted much and accomplished less. For in truth, their conflicts interrupted the efforts of each to acquire that which he sought or to gain that which he pursued. At the time in which these cities existed, for this was within the realm of physical plane, and time was faithfully observed, a struggle arose between those who occupied the city of seekers of the physical realm. For in finding themselves unable to subdue one another, they turned their vision outward and began to plan, to make alliances and truces and treaties so as to turn their energies to the conquest of the city of those who sought within the spiritual realm. The day came, the banners were unfurled, the marchers went forward, the troops were formed for the assault, and in great excitement they stormed that city, only to find that this city was unoccupied. The treasures they sought were present, but seemed somehow tarnished in that no struggle occurred, no fear was sparked, no cowardice displayed. Only the treasures of the physical world remained behind in this strangely abandoned city. In their dismay, they scouted throughout the area, attempting to find any of the former occupants of the city that they might question them or perhaps abuse them in some manner so as to make this conquest somehow more appropriate or enjoyable. Yet, they found no one. Finally, they began to argue among themselves. The arguing became more bitter, more angry, and the anger sparked the violence which had been delayed too long. And so they fought, and for the most part, slew one another with pleasure, with satisfaction. And those who remained after the battle loaded what treasure they could remove from their fallen enemies, their former allies, and returned to their homes. And my sisters and brothers, each in the story was able to achieve that which he had sought. For those who followed this path of taking and of violence managed to attain the violence which they had sought and to take, each from another in satisfaction. Those of the abandoned city also found fulfillment, for they were able, as was their wont, to peacefully offer what gifts, what possessions they possessed to their brothers of the more violent city by simply leaving behind that which they themselves no longer could value, but knew would be of value to the invaders. And each, my friends, followed their path successfully. The difference, then, would lie simply in the direction of their paths. For those of that city, which might be termed service to self, chose a circuitous path which would circle repeatedly back in upon itself, rebounding from its contact with others as they would progress outward, find their pain, acquire their minor treasures, and return whence they came. While those of the city, which might be termed service to others, acquired those gifts which had been provided, made use of those gifts to the extent which they were useful, then left them behind for their brothers and proceeded outward on a path which had no return, only progression. My brothers and sisters, we are of the path of service to others. It is of our choice. It is apparent to those who seek to follow this path that others more readily accept a different path, that of service to self. It is appropriate to be of what assistance one may to our brothers of the service to self polarity. For as you know, such service can only be of assistance to both you and they. Yet it is not necessary for all to lay down their lives for the whims of those who seek pleasure in the taking of life and the destruction of that which we call good. My sisters and brothers, in times ahead, travails will come to each of you, and difficult choices will need to be made. In your illusion, there are many examples of what may be termed nobility, common sense, or even the right thing to do. But my brothers and sisters, remember that confusion might be termed the dominant theme within your illusion, and that nobility, which stems from confusion, may not always be the most beneficial choice for those concerned. Therefore, my friends, look to your heart for guidance and not to the conventional wisdom. For it is within your heart and not your mind that the course of your desire will be revealed. At this time, we will relinquish our use of this instrument, that our brothers and sisters of Latwi might perform their service of answering questions. Adone, my friend, Adone Vasubaragas. I am known to you as Hatan. I am Latwi.
Latwi, I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite creator, and send you the greetings and good wishes of those of Hatan, whose emissary we are at this time, and who wishes you to know that they appreciate the love that you are sending them, and the Confederation in its attempts to send love to the leaders of your planet at this critical time. They wishes you also to know that the crisis is not over, and so they regrets very much not being on station in your skies. And so those of Hatan have asked us, Latwi, to remain with you as counselors and true philosophers, to share our thoughts with you, and that we will do. My friends, the instrument has been deep in prayer in the last 2 minutes, for she fears, as always, that she will not speak the words that we give her. We think that this is a perfect example of what makes us laugh at the people of your planet. You are so serious, my friends. You are so sure that you will be able to tell the truth by the use of your intellect. My friends, it is as though you have great trees growing on top of your heads, with their roots very deep inside your brains, and all the while you are concerned about uprooting these great trees with their great and deep roots. You stood out in the rain and let the sun and the wind pour over these trees and nourish their growth. My friends, why do you worry? Why do you concern yourself with those things over which you have no control? Why can you not pray and then let it go and act? Why can you not act and then let it go? Why can you not act and then let it go, be it error or correctness? My friends, the roots of that tree that grows within your brain, that tree which is called the intellect, cannot be uprooted by force. The intellect can only be starved. Stay out of the rain, my friends. Avoid the sunshine. Do not think too much. It is as simple as that. Do not think about not thinking. The overuse of the intellect, the over-seriousness of your people, has held back more spiritual advancement than we can tell you among your people. You who are in the vast minority among the peoples of your planet, you who are the hope of your planet, you who care to know the truth, do not think that you can think your way to the truth. Know that you can only be the truth. You can only act the truth. You can only love, for that is the heart of the truth. You can only be the original thought, for that is the heart of love. There is a love that created you, and that love is all light and all joy. Joining it makes you as light as a butterfly. You have no gravity. You do not need to be serious. You do not need to keep blame or guilt for your past incorrectness upon yourself, nor need you do it for others in any way, for others are only yourself, a mirror in your mind, so that you may see yourself better. Look each person in the face. Look yourself in the face and find love. If you cannot find it, let it go. Wisdom was not ever won in a moment. Until the moment comes, peacefully await that moment. Do not think about that moment or strive towards that moment in your minds, for there is a deeper facility in your heart. And it is called the will. And we urge you instead to employ that. Will to know the original thought. Will to know the original thought of the Creator. Seek and you shall find. How many times have those who have spoken to you from the Confederation of Planets in the service of the infinite Creator said those words? Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. These words are from one of your holy books, and they are true. Advice is simple. It is not, think and ye shall find. Think and it shall be opened unto you. But think will. Use your imagination. Use your facilities of hope and desire. And as you seek, let the journey be one of laughter, as well as tears. Let yourself laugh. Let yourself enjoy that which is beautiful in each moment. Do not think too much. The tree in your head, which is your intellect, is very useful if you need firewood, and you do need a certain amount of it. You have a chemical body. You must live in a chemical world. You must make decisions having to do with your chemical personality. And truer the will, the intellect strokes the decision-making fires. Very well then. Use it for that. For your spiritual thinking. Stop it. Go into meditation with a free heart, not with a free mind. Let your mind do what it wishes. You're not concerned with your mind. Let it tie itself into knots. It does not concern you. It is a tool. It is not you. Shrug it off. Let it be unimportant. We offer you these foolish sentences in the hope that you will see what is behind them. Our desire to hold our hands out to you, our brothers and sisters, for we stated, in realms where these things are apparent, where love is enjoyed and shared, where the intellect is understood and not overemphasized.
Indeed, we may say your intellect is by far greater than ours, for we know what we know by a process of direct intuition. We share one great body of knowledge among us, and nothing is forgotten. Thus, we need not the tree of intellect. There is a place you can go in meditation that is a better place, my friend. A place in which you can be clean and fresh, new, just born and free. We invite you to join us, for in meditation you are in a great companion. For in meditation you are in a great company of all those in higher places. With these few thoughts, we will end this discussion. We are those of Latsui. Praise be our one infinite Creator. We thank you, one infinite Creator, for your love and your light. Praise be our one infinite Creator. We thank you, one infinite Creator, for your love and your light.
I am Aton, and I greet you in the love and in the light of the infinite Creator. We are sorry for delay in achieving contact with this instrument, but we are on station elsewhere in your sky, and are having to work through a series of what you would call computers in order to relay our thoughts to you. Normally, the one known as Latsui would speak to you, but because of the special group that we have tonight, we wish to speak to you ourselves. This instrument has often wondered why the planetary entity that has most often spoken to her from the inner planes during what you would call seances was named Moses. We would like to bring out some points about the reason for the one known to your peoples as Moses being one of your inner guides upon the earthly plane. It was many, many years ago, several thousand of your years to be exact, or more exact shall we say, when you and your little charge of courageous pilgrims, desiring to help the peoples of this earth, stood before the council that governs this solar system, and requested permission to incarnate into the solar system in this cycle. Permission was granted. It was not granted to all that applied, and to those that won the approval of the council, there still remained mixed feelings, for you knew what you must lose in order to enter such a dense and unloving vibration as the Earth plane. You have tried through many incarnations to be of service to the people of this planet. It was hoped very much by you before you began this incarnation that this would be the incarnation in which you succeeded in that plan. In other words, my friends, you, like Moses, have been attempting to lead your people through a desert towards a promised land of love and light, which you can see clearly in a distance and know as a reality, but which those around you either doubt or disclaim completely. And now, my friends, you find yourselves moving through the incarnation, giving of yourself to the best of your ability and to the best of your judgment, finding yourself still in the desert. I can only say to you, my friends, that your sacrifice has not been in vain, nor will it ever have been for nothing. Even if you do not lead your people into the promised land, even if, as some have rather crudely put it, you cannot save your planet. You have shown by your life and by your works to the best of your ability that love and the light that awaits those who praise the truth of the Creator's love. Remember that you are not alone in this great effort to heal a planet and its millions and millions of souls. What you have done prepares the way, at the very least, for another generation of those who seek the promised land, as long as your gaze is steady, as long as you know the reality of the eventual goal. The fact that you cannot yourself bring the planet with you to the completion of that goal should not sorrow you, for you must realize that the free will of each soul is supreme. What you must realize for your own sanity is summed up in your holy works in the parable of Moses and the burning bush. The bush was burned, and yet it was not consumed. And out of the bush a voice addressed the one known as Moses. There in the desert as he stood, foot weary and dusty and helpless. "Take off your shoes," said the voice, "for that place whereon you stand is holy ground." You cannot bring people to an understanding. You can only bring yourself to people. And if you have the realization that you are constantly in the holy tabernacle, dwelling in serenity and intimacy with the Creator, which is the spirit of love among men, then you will be able to bring that holiness ever so quietly into the atmosphere about you. We realize that you do not consider yourselves to be saints, that you could not possibly be holy. We realize this. We can see your hearts, and that you quake with the sadness of all of your indiscretions, heated words, wrong feelings, actions which you considered indiscreet, and actions which you fear may be indiscreet in the future. But we say to you, my friends, we are not speaking here of the human personality, for there is a level beneath the human personality in which true sainthood and true holiness abides. You do not so much need to tame your human personality as to learn to discard it, to understand the shallowness of its emotions, to understand that as the bedrock of your character lies that with which you came into the solar system, in that which the Council of Saturn passed. Yes, my friends, compared to those who dwell upon this planet from a previous age, you are indeed saints, subconsciously. The longer you spend in meditation, the more you will begin to feel comfortable with the fact, not to be proud, but only to be able to manifest it in your life by feeling the presence and the power of the Creator, who is with you, no matter how the emotions of your daily life may turn around you. No matter how distracted you may become by the petty concerns of petty people, yet you have that to fall back on which they may not. And it is that which makes you a shepherd, and it is the lack of that which makes them the sheep, and thus your relationship defined. You will recognize other shepherds when you see them, for you will hear in them the world weariness, and yet the total sweetness that comes with the subconscious knowledge that this is truly not reality for you, but merely an illusion that you have selected in order to do a job. We are aware that each of those in your little band has become increasingly desirous of bringing, shall we say, to a head the business of setting the planet aright. We wish, my friends, that we could give you the personal guarantee of success that you would so like to hear. But you have a planet that's moving rapidly and completely into the new vibration, and its people are not. Its people are becoming more and more polarized, are desiring to stand upon ground which is not holy, are desiring to distract themselves from that which may be of depth and meaning to them, so that they will not have to think of the consequences of being unholy, unkind, ungenerous, unloving. My friends, you love one another, and you truly try to love those with whom you come in contact. We can only ask that you dig a little deeper into your subconscious, into the knowledge with which you came into this vibration so many long years ago. You have the opportunity to remember the sweetness and the simplicity of constant contact with the oneness of all things. You merely doubt from time to time that these things are so because you are lost in the wilderness where there are so few shepherds and so many sheep, and the herding of them is almost intolerable. Therefore we say to you, be of good courage, and do not think of goals, but only of the mile which you are walking at this time. We do not know how long the wilderness lasts in terms of time. If it lasts past your lifetime, then you will have been a shepherd along the way. You will not be in at the finish. You will not see the end written across the skies. The movie will not be over for you when you leave this incarnation. This is of no concern to you. Do not be concerned with your accomplishments. Be concerned only with the amount of time that you spend dealing with individuals upon the sturdy and heartfelt basis of the love of the Creator. Be concerned only with the analysis of your own thoughts, that you may reject those thoughts which are not helpful to your spiritual growth or to the growth of others. Most of all, allow your intuition to play the part in your life that it deserves. For with daily meditation, your intuition will point you in a direction that you ought to go. There will always be, to those who pray and meditate, a path that becomes obvious. It is not always what one would desire consciously, but when it becomes obvious, seize it and embrace it, for it is your next lesson. And by learning these lessons and learning them with love, you and your powerful personalities, well schooled in love, are raising the planetary consciousness a goodly degree. We ask you to realize that we are very grateful to you, for you have been sent into a world that is hostile, and you do not have visible help. You have a great deal of invisible help, but you must always be strengthening your faith in order to be able to lean on this help as you would upon a help of a friend. Not that we or the Creator himself could ever tell you what to do, but that when you lean upon the spiritual truth of love, love will live your life, and you need only follow the path of love and do to the best of your abilities those good works that have been laid out for you to do. This may be as humble as a smile in a crowded supermarket, a sweet thought on a winter's day, the noticing of the beauty of nature. Yes, my friends, these are good works. These things improve the planetary consciousness. There are dramatic good works, yes, but they are far and few between. That which love has for you to do will be governed completely by the capacity of the planetary consciousness to absorb the love which you have to give. If you cannot give it to all, you may give it to some. If you cannot give it to some, you may give it to a few. If you cannot give it to men and women, you may always, my friends, give it to children, for they are simple and open and understand love. Your tour of duty, shall we say, is almost over, and we feel that it would not make you unduly proud to say that you have done well. We wish only that your heartaches could be less and that your joy could be more. For this is what you came into the world to share, the joy of living under the highest law, the law of love. We wish you the greatest of peace and strength and confidence in your day-by-day attempts to express this love in your life, to show this love and this joy in every smile and laugh, in every refusal to be bitter, in every forgiveness, in every forgetting of a wrong. In a way, you are not special, for you are children of God, as are all. It is only that you have more experience, and this gives you responsibility. We hope that this responsibility may weigh lightly upon you, and that you may find grace. I am Aton, and I greet you in the love and the light of the Infinite Creator. We are very pleased to be with you, and we greet each of you. We have a good contact tonight, and this makes it easier for us to share our thoughts with you. Your peoples, my friends, do not always have a good contact with us, or with any of those who attempt to help them to remember their true self. Why is it, my friends, that your peoples are often so unaware of the friends that they have? We have come from other worlds, shall we say, other dimensions. Any of your helpers are parts of your own real self, separated from you only by your limited consciousness while within the physical illusion. Others of your helpers have been your teachers through past experiences on the soul level. You have teachers who are within the physical illusion, with you at this time, whose words you may read or hear, whose music you may hear, whose feelings you may come to understand on a conscious level. Within the illusion, all of these helpers, my friends, who people your world are inhabitants within the life of your true self, which you call the soul. And yet, how many of your peoples, my friends, think they are alone, and the world is a jungle and they must get by the best they can? With this kind of philosophy, my friends, every day is a difficult one. Every decision is a hard one, and all brothers and sisters are met with suspicion. Yet, my friends, you are truly very rich in friends. Most of them unseen. Most of them available only through meditation. Your own higher self is your greatest friend. Your own higher self retains the memory of all that you have learned, not only in this experience, but in that great sum of experience through which your true self has traveled on its path to where you are now. It has been written in your holy works that the Master known as Jesus came to declare the acceptable year of the Creator, the acceptable time for understanding of unity. At the beginning of your cycle, your people were unacceptable, for there was a great darkness, a great forgetting. For all the souls that had begun in this cycle at that time had to begin with total lack of memory, had to begin in the darkness of total illusion, to rediscover independently and of free will all of the truths of the Creator, all of the truths of love and brotherhood. All of those things that separate the consciousness, awareness of the living soul from the instinctive rise of awareness of your animal life. And in the instinct to conscious awareness of truth, your peoples have labored long, for thousands of years, through many lives. You have worked to begin to express in a conscious manner your knowledge of unity. The Master known as Jesus came to declare that acceptable truth. He served as a perfect example, and those truths that have become more and more acceptable to individual souls as the cycle has progressed. That acceptable year, my friends, draws nigh and is upon you. That which you are expressing at this time may well be your final expression within this cycle. It is time, as this instrument would say, to get it right. It is within the awareness of each of you within this group to understand the pressures of the one who desires to pass the test at the end of the school year. There is a studying, there is a caring, a desiring that one's level of understanding may be acceptable. We ask, my friends, that as you turn to meditation, you turn with desire to understand fully that which is acceptable, that which is true. Many are the philosophies and the religions among your peoples that always, no matter what the disagreements and contradictions of what you may call dogma, always the ethical considerations remain constant. The ethics, that which is acceptable, do not seem to be in question, for action is the most expressive form of truth. Therefore, we ask you to meditate and seek that truth, and then go forth and enjoy. Allow that which is acceptable to the Creator to flow from you as you have received it in meditation. Perhaps there is a great question in back of what we speak to you about this evening. Perhaps while you are within the physical illusion, you can never be totally sure that it is truly an illusion and that your real self is completely infinite. It has eternal life. It is for reasons such as these that a word known as faith was conceived by your peoples. The word has unfortunate connotations, yet it is not foolish to have faith. There are many things which are not seen, but which you for some reason have inner convictions will come to pass. My friends, they will come to pass whether or not you have inner convictions. But your own personal progress along the lines of seeking will be much more rapid if you allow yourself to trust that intuition that tells you that our words are true. As you allow yourself to have as much faith as you may feel comfortable with, that small amount of faith will express itself to you in reflection in many privately convincing ways, so that gradually you will not have to go on faith anymore, for you will have been shown in ways that are clear to you that that which you had faith in is indeed true. Therefore, my friends, it is not the tool of the fanatic, or one who is mentally deficient, or one who is mentally lazy. Faith is the conscious tool of the intellect, used to link your intellect, which is a rather weak tool, with your intuition and your deeper awareness, which are very strong tools, but about which you know nothing intellectually. Many have said that there can be no link between the intellect and the intuition, or the heart. But my friends, this is not so, for all people know those things about which one has faith. All people are aware that it is possible to believe in love, to believe in hope, to believe in giving and in healing. All people, even the most materialistic, my friends, are aware of the legitimacy and the worth of these unseen powers. Their faith may be greatly diminished, but the words, concepts, and the possibility of faith are meaningful. Ask yourself, what things you have faith in? What things are of worth to you? And allow those things to expand as you bring them into your consciousness, intellectual awareness. First, through meditation, and then through the actions given to others. Enjoy. We are attempting the transformation of beings through these speeches. We can do so very little, my friends. We can only urge you to meditate, possibly inspire you through our descriptions of those things in which we have the greatest faith, in which we feel the greatest belief in our vibration. These are not inspiring words. These are the sober truths in our vibrations, my friends. They must come through the mists of the material illusion. They must be filtered through your words. And all we can hope is that through the magic of your imagination and your desire to seek the truth, our words will inspire you to meditate. As we said many times, we do not know it all. We are not very wise. We have simply been a little farther of what you might call Jacob's ladder. And we know that the journey is far, far more beautiful, more rewarding, and more deserving of faith than any possible journey to any possible place in space, in time, or in imagination. The journey for truth, my friends, is a journey for love, a journey for yourself. And you are truth, and you are love. We hold out our hands to you on this journey, and if at any time you wish our thoughts or the simple strengthening of our vibration, request it mentally, and I and my sisters and brothers will be there. That, my friends, is another thing in which you may have faith. Atan, I have a question for you. What was the beginning? Atan, you talked briefly of our higher self being the sum of the knowledge of the many lives we have lived. Where did it all start? How did it all start? I am Atan. This information is beyond our understanding. It is our intuitive feeling that the Creator has no beginning and no ending, has no limits of any kind. It is our intuitive understanding that the conscious universe, as we know it with its infinity of expressions, vibrations, times, spaces, dimensions, and thoughts, was an instantaneous expression of the Creator in a single vibration, which in your holy works has been called the Word. The Word, my friends, was love. There was one original vibration that expressed itself out of the infinite, out of the invisible. Love then formed gradually, step by step, all that the individual consciousnesses which were expressed by love at that time, could begin to create. The universe has been peopled more and more by the individual imaginations and thoughts of all of those infinite beings that were created as part of the love vibration. Each of you, my friends, has dwelled since the beginning of time. Before the beginning of time, there was the Creator. It is our intuitive understanding that after the end of time, when all of the particles of infinite love have made the journey back to the Creator, there will still be the Creator. There is no beginning and there is no ending, but our universe is love. We bless each of you and thank you for the great privilege of having contact with your unique and precious life vibration. Each of you is a totally unique and precious child of the Creator. Wherever you are on your journey, my friends, we are all with you. We are all your sisters and brothers. I and my brothers and sisters leave you in the love and the light. That is all that there is. Adonai, my friends, Vasu Moragas. I am Hatan. I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. It is a great pleasure to speak with your group this evening, and we greet each of you. As you have made your way this day, each of you has witnessed an unending series of miracles. For you passed through many of the creations of the Creator, and this evening we would like to say a few words about this creation. Meditation is a technique whereby the seeker may become more aware of the creation as it truly is. And yet, when you go forth from meditation, it is the world to which you now open your eyes. That is to inform your knowledge gained in meditation. For if you have knowledge and cannot apply it, then you have nothing. But you see, whatever you may see is the creation of the Creator. Of course, my friends, many times you have felt within your heart the beauty of many of the creations upon your planet, and those things that grow from your earth, the trees and the flowers, and those animals that are about you. Many times you have felt how beautiful and how wonderful these creations are. And we have said to you many times, note the service that each creation is to the rest. And you have thought this many times. But, my friends, let us go beyond these intellectual perceptions of the creation. We ask you, when you are ready, to take anything that is within your illusion, whether it be a tree or something that seems to be man-made, such as a wall or cloth, or something that seems to be dead, such as a stone. It does not matter, my friends, what you choose to focus your attention upon. For we say to you that all things are alive. There is nothing that is without creative power and consciousness. Pay attention to whatever you choose, total attention, focused attention. For out of meditation must come the knowledge that you may apply that all things are truly one, that all is created of love, that all exists through the power of love. When you can perceive trees and walls and stone as love, then you will have begun to perceive things as they are. We greatly encourage this in you, my friends. For those who are beginning to meditate, it is enough to suggest that meditation will enable them to have an enhanced perception. Yet, for those who are seekers of some experience, it is necessary to point further along the path. For the total end of your seeking within this illusion is to perceive the reality behind and within the illusion. And you cannot do this simply by maintaining a reasonable amount of calm, although this is greatly desirable. Your perceptions of all that you see need to become transformed. The most central creation of the Creator within your attention is, of course, my friends, yourselves. Each of you is a great treasure trove that you can observe as a creation of the Creator. You can learn much from yourself. In order to do this, you must focus upon yourself as if you were a tree or a stone. Not something familiar, but a strange and unusual object to be looked at and understand from a distance, from a perspective gained in meditation. You are alive, my friends, through the power of love, and your real nature is hidden in the folds of that mystery. As you examine your thoughts and your actions, try to see what you are doing from that perspective. You have much to learn from all that you can see. You are within the creation of the Creator, a very small portion of which is your perceived environment. And like all natural objects that have a birth and a death, you yourself, in your spirit, are of this nature, in this environment. There is a great deal to learn from the creation about you and within you. Picture yourselves, my friends, as a seed. It is written in your holy works that the seed depends on the soil for whether it grows or not. Your spirit is a seed within you. All that it will become is already within it. But you must put it in the correct environment. It needs darkness, by which we mean meditation. It needs light and water. It needs space to grow. The space within your life that you make for your spirit. You must tend it. You must give it the water and the sunlight of your attention. It is good to read spiritual books and hear words such as these, and yet, my friends, the sunlight that will truly ripen the seed of your spirit is the attention that you pay to that which is happening to you. The trees that you pass, the people that you meet, the first-hand experiences of your life as you live it. You may make these things stony ground or well-watered and warm earth, depending on where you put your attention. You may think it strange that we who are supposedly, shall we say, more advanced than you continue to use the language of simple farmers, shall we say. And yet, my friends, the simplest things are the things that never become foolish. The universe, the creation, operates on the basis of cycles. And the life of your spirit is a bed to be nurtured, just as surely as any other garden. As far as we know, that garden never gets beyond the point where it needs tending. At this time, I simply wish to share with you that we of the Confederation, as your sisters and brothers, as co-creators with you, and as servants to you, are desirous of achieving these types of communications with other entities such as yourselves. We speak of many things, and you have heard many messages. It may seem to you that we revolve in circles with our information, yet you may notice that each circle through which we revolve is expanded. Those who are familiar with the processes and the evolution of these communications can verify this. As those individuals within the structure of the meetings evolve, so does the material which is received. The life, my friends, the life that has power, the life that has begun to spring from the inside, from the core of your being, so that it is an enabling life, so that the person living it is able to give with love and with energy. This life is available to the seeker who has truly sought and found that which transforms his or her life. Within the religion with which many of you are familiar, this experience has been called being saved. And yet the Redeemer is your own consciousness. It is a closer thing to call it the Holy Spirit, as it is also known within the religion which has sprung up after the teachings of the Master, known as Jesus. The Spirit, my friends, created all of the creations of the Creator, you among them. So we say to you, yes, find the beauties and see the services, but at the very core, after you have observed the laws of the Creator, which are beauty and service, observe the true power, love itself, that has created all this in its perfection. It is this spirit that can transform your life. You do not need to struggle from moment to moment, from thought to thought, from action to action. You only think you do, my friends, because you have not been taking your meditation into your life. If you cannot do it all the time, do it once, and then do it again. 5 seconds, 1 minute of focused concentration in the spirit, far more beneficial to you than you can imagine.
How are you dressed? In white. White what? Loose white clothes. Okay, what about the waist now, above the pants? Well, it's just like a robe. It's not really a robe, but a loose clothing with a sash, like for a belt. And what about on the shoulders? Well, it's just short-sleeved. It's warm. What's the name of your planet? It's just we live there, and I don't see any mountains, but I see the name. I have a child. One child? Yeah, a little boy. His name is... I just don't have a feeling for names. I have, when you want somebody, and they know when you want them, sort of. I mean, I just don't have a feeling for names. All right, if someone calls to you, what do they call you? I just haven't heard anybody speak. I don't know if you have to speak. It seems like kind of a simple place, but there's obviously, there was light in my book, so it obviously mechanized, or perhaps much more than that even. I don't recall people speaking to each other, though. I mean, they seem to, everybody knows each question. You know what's going on, but I don't really see. There was singing, but there wasn't actually people conversing with each other. You just sort of knew, I guess. I'd be sitting on a stone or a bench, and they'd be sitting down, and I'm explaining, but I don't really see myself talking to them. I think it's a stone, I guess limestone, but it's wider. I guess that's what it's made of. What about the perimeter? Well, there's from supports from the sides or arches up to the ceiling, but it's not a regular dome. I haven't seen that kind of dome before. Take a good look. How far across is that dome? Oh, goodness. It looks like it's 200 feet the long way, and maybe more than that, maybe 250, and maybe 150 feet wide. It's a huge room. Okay, now how is it lightened? Just, really, it's just a glow from the ceiling. I mean, there's like the area that's light, and then there's darker, like it's been painted. But the paint, that's light. It seems like it just doesn't need any light. The room's bright. Maybe it's coming from the windows, but there doesn't seem to be any shadows in the room. What you're saying is that it seems as if the atmosphere in the room is glowing there? Well, yeah, just like it's bright. I don't see any shadows, like if there was a light source. Now I want you to listen inside that big room. What kind of sounds do you hear? nothing in that room, but they're singing someplace. Very quietly, singing off in the distance? Mm-hmm. All right, it's some kind of... It's more like a kind of choir, a little choir, like. I can't place the words. It's just, like a sort of praise. A sort of, something like you'd hear in a choir. Praise to whom? Well, to God? I'm sure that's who it is, it's sort of a happy thing to do when people get together and sing. I see myself sitting over a book and just reading. History? Well, I don't know. Practical work? Science? What do you study? Art? The arts? Just great books. Big books. Do you have supervised study in classes or... Well, in the morning there's a teacher, and in the afternoon or in the late evening, I study. Is there an examination? No exams. You just want to learn. You want to learn. It's like you can't learn enough. Nobody has individual homes? Well, no, this big place is their home. This is home. Well, this is one purpose, like it's like a school or a teaching place to learn those who want to learn it in depth and those that come when they can. But this isn't like a ruling type people by any means. Like, this isn't. Like the people have to come here. It's not a class system or anything. Well, let's see. I don't see myself there in different states of consciousness. There are prayerful times in the morning and at night. You have them in your room, and then you have others before meals, before the morning meal, and then briefly before the evening meal. But when it was like when the food was brought, but then afterwards it's in a room, like a private sort of devotional, except that you're not like in meditation. And there are times when the whole group gets together, other than meals, just like the whole place is like a family, I would guess, because like I said, you don't feel that attached necessarily to one person. You feel attached to everybody. They're all like in your family. Okay, now the people that leave at the heliport, you have no idea where they go. When I say these ships come, it's not like hordes of people just rushing off and rushing back on or anything. It's just, how should I, it lands there and the doors open and the people come out and people come in. They're allowed to go on the grounds, In other words, this is their place too, but they come as a visitor, sort of, to it. How long do they stay there? A day. There's a place, a flat place, like that's stone out in front, but I don't see roads coming to it. For it, I see a huge helicopter pad, for instance. But all right, I want you to describe that ship and what makes it go. I don't. It seems like it's probably a spaceship, but I don't see it coming from space. It's sort of suddenly almost being there. I don't see it like zipping off or coming in, across the horizon or anything. Just describe what it looks like. Yeah, well, it's longer than it is wide, and it's not real thick compared to the length dimensions and the width dimensions. It's not spinning when it comes down because it's a little sort of like oblong, or it just sort of appears and sits down, I mean, I don't see it actually coming into view from smaller and getting larger. Why are you on Earth? What is the purpose of this life? What do you intend to do here? What were you assigned to do here? It seems like to help. Helping with what? Something in particular? Something? Have you already helped in this field, or is the problem yet to come that you are to help with? It hasn't happened yet. What do you anticipate? Just great needs. What would happen to require so much help from you that you know about? Spiritual growth? Spiritual development? Physical needs? Well, I get the feeling of some people that are lost, Can you help them? This is your mission? I feel like that's what I need to do. Help those people. Which people? The ones that are lost. Is this a particular group? No. Just in general.
just people. Buenos dias, mi amigos. Welcome to the Law of One, conscious channeling of LL Research. I'm Robert, humble messenger of the Law of One, and it is my privilege, honor, and duty to share with you these messages from the Confederation of Planets in service to our one infinite creator. I am Hatan. I am now with this instrument. When we say that we know those whom we wish to help and those whom we do not wish to help, we do not speak of knowledge in your sense. And, therefore, that which we say to you concerning your progress as channels is prone to misunderstanding and even error. And yet the fact remains that there is a flock, and those of you who have the calling must be shepherds to that flock. And it is true that there are those who wish to be of the flock, and that there are those who do not wish to be of the flock. And we say to each of you who is a channel, your inner eye is unclouded. It is only your outer eyes which becomes confused and which sees mists and quicksand. Therefore, in your work, which is a good service, use your inner eye, for that alone will serve you as you do the will of the Creator. Before me, as we are here together, each of you sits bathed in light, and from inside each of you, I have the privilege of perceiving your desire to be of service. That this fountain may run clear and sweet is our chief concern, for that which is through you is of the Creator, and each of you are the Creator's channels. What can we say to you to encourage you that you have not already heard? Does it seem to you, perhaps, my friends, that in your service you are forever to be stunted and thwarted and always misunderstood? I can think of many things to say to you, many words, many thoughts, all of which are true, all of which would be kindly and encouraging. But, my friends, for you, I will share with you that which is of another level of understanding. For within service, as within all things, there are many levels of comprehension. As you desire to go forth and serve, therefore know this, that you must be prepared to give away all that you have to give. You must be prepared to walk away and not look back, for there is nothing that you can do for your Creator, but everything. The illusion with which to part within this lesson. It is a hard lesson, and people have always, and they say, everything, not everything, but my friends, everything must belong to the Creator. This is hard, and yet, if you may realize this fact within your own thinking, your service will become such a thing as I cannot possibly describe. There is an inevitable blooming of every plant, and every tree will bear fruit in its time. The fruit of your service is a long time coming, for you have worked towards this moment for a long time in your way of thinking, and as you approach this time, you have achieved many lessons. But the final fruits come only after the fruit has been dropped from the plant which gave it life. Do not take these words in intellectual ingestion, attempting to coddle and understand from their specific meaning, for we are speaking not of a physical, but of that which is spiritual. Do not think in terms of the visible, for service is invisible. All those things which are visible, in reality, are invisible, eternal and completely without separation, for they are all one thing, they are all the Creator. Everything must be given to the Creator because the Creator is everything. This massive indifference that you find may be turned in an instant, my friends, by the service of your own thinking from a neutrality to a glorious joy. The indifference, the difficulties, the hindrances. The hindrances of service are part of an illusion, which is not yours to understand. For my friends, it is not understandable. It is simply yours to experience. This service begins within your heart, which is completely empty and open for you, have given all that you have to the Creator. And in return, my friends, the Creator has come into this empty and open place. The Creator has filled your essence with the Creator's love and delight, and you have become a true channel. able to illuminate each moment with love. Your service will come as you desire it. Your service will come as you desire it shall be. You may therefore prepare, and having prepared, you may lie down in rest, content with the glory shining around you. And now, my friends, I will speak with you concerning a question which, in a general way, is in several of your minds at this time. You have wondered as to why the Confederation of Planets wishes to serve the Creator by means of coming to planet Earth and talking to groups such as yours. We certainly understand how we can certainly understand how puzzling this must look, for within the density which you now enjoy, the approach would not be used, due to the fact that it would not cause a certain change within the group, which you intended to aid. However, my friends, you may perhaps gain some understanding of our actions, if you will consider that it has been, within the history of your people, a frequent custom of those who are somewhat of an advanced nature, relatively, reaching out to aid a more primitive or less sophisticated citizen or group of people who are on the threshold of entering a more sophisticated environment. We may add, my friends, that most of the attempts that have been made by those known as missionaries, social groups, who were sent out by the government and others, end with a very low success rate. We hope, my friends, that our basic success rate in aiding you is higher, and this is the reason that we do not come among you and attempt to force you to understand that which we are teaching you. You see, my friends, you are at the beginning of a truly new age. The vibrations are being made new at this time, and those who embody within themselves the consciousness of great beings will become that which they know and they which they are. And we desire to bring each of you seeking into this new vibration content to fulfill your own great destiny in the new age. We have made the step. We exist within this environment at this time, and we know of the help that what you might call a cheering team can do for you. And so we cheer you along. We urge you to, shall we say, do your technique, do your homework, so that you may be what you desire to be. These things do not happen by accident. They happen by desire. That desire must originate within you. We are attempting to stimulate the desire that is already within you. There is much joy and much beauty and the constant presence of the Creator of us all, very apparent of the new vibration. The new vibration is love, as is the old vibration, and yet, my friends, the truth of love becomes a little more obvious with the higher vibrations. Through meditation, my friends, you may begin to see the heart of love in all the clumsy actions of all those who enter your atmosphere in your daily activities. There may be a great deal of difficulty. There may be misspent time and mistaken words. And yet, my friends, each action and each desire is, in truth, a manifestation of love, shadowed and twisted sometimes, for man is also a creator and can cause the shape of love to change. Yet the heart of all action is love. Know this within your inmost self, and then you cannot be touched by that illusion which attempts to strike you. The freedom that this gives you to give forth love in its original state at all times to all peoples is a wonderful gift. We think this is why the Confederation is here. We are all here, many of us from different planets, from different vibrations, from various densities, in many circumstances. Yet we all work together, for we have all come to know the Creator, and we all wish to be of service to the Creator, and that alone is enough for us. We only wish to help you. We are one of many who wish to help you. We are here always. In words, if you may find a channel, and without words, if you desire our presence. We are always with you to lend our vibrations to your meditation, if you so desire. I will leave you now, my friends. It has been a great privilege to be with you. I am so glad to have been able to share this meeting with you. I hope that our words have been of some aid to you. I leave you in the Creator's love and the Creator's light. I am Hatan Adonai Vasu. greet you, my friends, in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. May we say to you, my friends, that it is a great privilege to be with you this evening, for we speak now to those who do not need to hear our words. For you, my friends, are already awake to the consequences of eternity and do not need our attempts at inspiration and the provoking of the healing curiosity for more information, which we normally need to deal with in our contact with your people through channels such as this one. Thus, we can speak to you, shall we say, face to face, without shading our words, as we so often do, and we find this to be an enormous honor. And we thank you for the privilege of being asked to speak to you, who already are conscious of much that we have to say. Thus, with you, we may go a bit further. We have been aware of your conversations this evening, and we send to you our comfort and our blessing that you may not be overly concerned for the future, for eternity exists only in the moment. And prudence is not necessarily an ingredient of spiritual good health. You must, of course, dwell within your physical vehicle and cope in such a way with your physical existence that you do not become a stumbling block before others, nor a liar, nor a dissembler. This much attention we must give to our daily habits and duties and responsibilities. And we would never encourage anyone to forego such indicators of a balanced and stable worker along the path. But we say to you, my friends, that you must be mindful of a certain story which was written in your holy works. And in that story, a teacher, known to you as Jesus, was approached by a young man who asked to become a disciple of the great rabbi. He had listened to the one known as Jesus, and he believed in what he said, and he wished to devote himself to learning more and more. The one known as Jesus turned to him and said, "You are a very good student, and you must do only one thing more if you want to follow me. Sell all that you have and give it to the poor, and come and follow me." You are aware, of course, my friends, because you are not introductory students, that this was a parable, and not to be taken literally. It is not those things which you have that you must sell. It is not those things which you have that you must sell. Rather, my friends, it's those things which have you, which chain you in some way and block you from understanding yourself and your true desires that you must shed, as a snake would shed an old and faded skin. These things need not necessarily be physical things. They may be nothing more than ideas and attitudes. You have heard it said this evening, know yourself. That is the most important thing. And we ask you to consider, not for the future, but now, in each moment, what do you desire? It is said of many in the world that they are selfish because they do what they desire, and what they desire may not meet the models of the society in which they live. And yet we say to you, if you do not do what you desire, you will never be content. You will never be secure. You will never know the present moment to its fullest. There is a misconception that is greatly spread among your peoples, that you are beings who are shaped by circumstance. This is not so, my friends, unless you allow it to be so. If you are able to remain in contact with the Creator, your life can be totally devoid of circumstance. That is a big if, my friend, and it requires constant remembrance of your oneness with the original thought, so that you become full of joy, not your own joy, my friends, but the joy of creation, the joy that brings things to life, the joy that transfigures death into resurrection. Such a joy is real and is realistic, and can touch all circumstances and all those about you. If you can maintain to any degree this contact with the Creator working through your higher self will find its own way to allow you to become aware of what is right for you. You will not know ahead of time. You may not know an instant before. It will not be an intellectual process. It will occur, and there will be an inner conviction, and with that conviction, a peace. We realize, my friends, that you are sad because your clan has not been able to work at full efficiency during your incarnation so far. If you could only see the number of people that you have touched in your work, in your daily contact, in your friendships, you would know that you have not deviated nor forgotten that love which you came to bespeak to the multitudes. It is possible, and indeed we feel very probable, that the time for drama is soon over, for your peoples would not accept it, and thus you could not do it. There were those who would not have helped you, but they could not, for they were not ready to pick up the responsibility of the knowledge that they held. Their inability was due to a simple human failing. That is what we spoke of earlier. And one could sum it up in the word greed. There was something, an ego problem, a personality problem, a favorite activity, something as small as that which eliminated them from the life of constant service. But you must remember that the space-time continuum is forever flexible and forever changeable, and in your local world, each moment is discrete and separate, thus giving you a nearly infinite number of chances to be of perfect service to the Creator. We are aware of your great hopes, and we honestly do not know what the future may hold, for there are many futures, and we do not know which one you will choose. But we say unto you that those who love and seek the Creator will find the satisfaction of missions well accomplished, no matter how the plan has evolved, no matter what decisions have led to other decisions. Thus, we ask you to live today in a loving way, and always to say, I shall obey the voice of meditation. Those thoughts I will weigh. Thank you, Hatan. And now, my brothers and sisters, it is such a privilege to present to you our master teacher. I greet you in the love and the peace of the Infinite Father. I come at your request, and I am known to you as Jesus. Your vibration has reached out to me this evening, and I perceive that you are true disciples, and that you are all too aware of my words, that you must take up your cross and follow me. It is well, my friends, my beloved children, to meditate upon that which is your cross, so that you may the better take it up. But we ask you to remember that it is through the cross that you can achieve redemption for all those about you, through your great love and sacrifice and ultimate resurrection. What I wish to say to you now is that you will be aware more and more as you grow towards the consciousness, which you choose to call Christ consciousness, of the endless wonder of existence in the creation of the Father. To live, my friends, in a constellation of beings who are individual, unique, and miraculous, to have, through grace and the Holy Spirit that dwells among you, all power for good and for love. Think you that you are unworthy of wonder and joy? Shed your unworthiness. You do not need it, and it does not need you. Enter then into the kingdom which awaits you. A kingdom that is here, my friends, in this illusion, on this plane of existence. Enter into the kingdom of those who have washed in the waters of healing. Know that which is your cross, and love and accept that which is your cross. It may not seem so to the world, but it is your soul that is of significance, and it is your soul that must be healed and washed, and once clean, you shall be called holy, and you shall be called chosen. Not by others, and not by yourself, but by the impersonal and loving judgment of light. For your souls are the stuff of light. Thus, heal your souls by constantly standing in the consciousness of love, and wash with that love until you are clean. Let this be private and secret, and speak to no man. For the world will not understand that which you do in the name of the Creator. But that which is within will come out, and thus you will become an instrument for love. What love I have in me is yours, my brothers and sisters. You are my beloved brethren, and you are next to my heart, as are all conscious beings. Know that you can, and you will be healed of whatever keeps your soul in bondage. And seek always that holy ground which lies beneath your feet, wherever you stand. I am with you in prayer. I am by your side in meditation. My love goes with you. My peace I give to you. I am known to you as Jesus. My peace to you, my friends. I am Hadon. I greet you, my friends, in the love and the light of our infinite Creator. It is a very great privilege once more. It is always a privilege. Why do I say it's a privilege, my friends? My friends, service is always a privilege. This is our service to you, those of you who walk in service on your planet. We are limited in contacting you, and only certain techniques can be used at this time. These techniques must always be, shall I say, rejected. That is, an individual does not have to accept our contact. Even the channel does not have to accept our contact. Information in your language is made available for you to ponder. It is then an individual's decision as to whether to use the information or to reject it and select other information or to select no information at all. Many of your peoples do not select information. They simply move their minds in a way that has been described for those of their immediate society. These people are in a state of mind that has not yet awakened to seeking. Many of them are on the verge of seeking. However, they may stay in that condition or state for their entire incarnation. Many are awakened to seeking by one religious group or another. Many are awakened to seeking in a personal experience. However, my friends, it is the individual seeking that is important, not the information, not the religious group, or not the particular experience that creates the conditions. The seeking itself, my friends, is the important factor. For without the seeking, there is no real growth in spirit. Seeking must come first, my friends. Seeking must come in order to make the information be made available for use. Without the seeking, the information is of no value. It is truly written, "Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you." This is the tried and true method of development for the individual who has made the transition from the stagnant or sleeping awareness to an awake or seeking awareness. It is only when the individual has made the decision to seek on his or her own, to look for that which will create its own evolution in the spirit. It is only at this time that it is possible to make useful information available to him or her. My friends, you can take every esoteric or metaphysical book on your planet today and make them available to an individual who is not seeking, and it will be of no effect. The individual first must choose to seek. Then you may provide him or her with information. It is necessary to seek if one is to find. It is necessary to seek that part of the communication that we give you, or make use of it in your own way, just as it is necessary to seek that part of the information hidden in texts or volumes available to you of your religious material, so that you can interpret it in your own way and decide which parts are meaningful and which parts are, shall we say, simply a matrix of varying information. We would suggest, when in approaching portions of your population, what you might call a missionary effort, that you do so in a manner so as to keep uppermost the essence of the technique I have just outlined. It is not possible to force feed, shall I say, entities information. It is only possible to tantalize, shall I say, those who have reached that position in thought and understanding. Seeking is required if one is to be tantalized by what you might call the advertising that you, as a holder of information, bring forth. Generally speaking, my friends, when you approach a fellow man or woman to give to him or her that which you know to be true, it will be necessary for you first to excite his or her interest with tidbits or with advertising. If it is not possible to excite her interest, it is not possible to give him information. If the seeking process is not initiated within, it would be an infringement upon the free will of the individual approached to go further and to indicate the possibility of information such as we provide you. Seek those who seek, and then carefully and slowly develop their interest. This will be not only a service to them, but a service to yourself. Any more stringent approach is not a service to any. Now, many of your religious organizations upon the surface of your planets go forth with great zeal, impressing a missionary type of information about their particular discipline upon all those who will listen. This, my friends, is perfectly all right. It, however, does not produce the desired result. The desired result is always the same, my friends. The result is to produce the growth and spiritual understanding. Spiritual is a word which I use for lack of a more suitable word. It would perhaps be better to eliminate the word altogether and say that the desired result would be to produce an increase in understanding. Simple understanding, my friends. Yes, my friends, this is the objective of any spiritually based organization, to produce an increase in understanding. Understanding is accomplished in the following manner. Understanding is accomplished by the seeker seeking. Understanding is accomplished in such a way so that any question can be answered truthfully. At a certain level of awareness, it is possible to know which answers are truthful, which answers are not truthful. These answers change with changing awareness. What is truthful at one stage of awareness is no longer truthful at the next. Each question has more than one answer. The truthfulness of the answer is dependent upon the awareness of the entity producing the answer. Seeking then produces a state of awareness that enables the individual to answer truthfully. More seeking may produce answers that disagree with answers given previously. This is because of the refinement or expanding of awareness. This is the nature of seeking and growth in understanding. This seems to be a paradox, my friends. This will be the nature of your growth. The point that I am making is that the information provided is always truthful. It is always false. My friends, this could be said to be true of everything that you know. This statement, of course, is also false. All men speaking are correct in all concepts that they hold. If they think that they are truthful, then they are truthful. And there is no reason to think they are false. And that is so as long as the individual is sincere. He or she can speak nothing but the truth. All metaphysical systems, all religions, all of the dogma, all of these things, my friends, are correct and true. To refute the validity of any concept is an indication of lack of awareness of the mechanics of this creation. reality, to seek to convert individuals from one technique of thinking to another is perfectly all right. To seek to forcefully convert an individual from one way of thinking to another is also perfectly all right. However, from the point of view of this entity, it is not wise. To generalize what I am saying, what has been said, all things are true. Any philosophical orientation is correct. Any missionary attempt is okay. In other words, my friends, anything goes. There is no correct solution in your illusion. All solutions are correct. There is no absolute system of coordinates in your illusion. They are all variable. The mechanics of growth, of understanding, are not as important as the seeking that produces the growth. Whether that seeking leads the individual down one path or another, to produce that growth is relatively unimportant. For this reason, my friends, it is relatively unimportant as to whether you do or do not do missionary work. It is relatively unimportant as to whether infringement upon the will of another through missionary work is in evidence or not. If this is done, it quite possibly produces seeking. The seeking may be in a direction away from the missionary, but the catalyst has been added. Your world is a big melting pot of catalysts. Catalyst is intellectual. Catalyst is emotional. Catalyst is also physical. It comes in many forms. Suitability of the form is dependent upon the individual being acted upon. Catalyst that often affects one individual does not affect another, depending on the state of awareness of that individual in the particular incarnation and in its total state of awareness, which is not a function of a particular incarnation. Each individual needs a different type of catalyst. During his or her span upon the surface of this planet, she or he comes in contact with innumerable different catalytic actions, which produce emotional, intellectual, or physical responses. There is no single set of catalysts that works for everyone. There is no single philosophy that works, just as there is no single educational course that everyone can take, understand, and apply at the same time. To undergo and experience catalysts, you may be active in producing that catalyst, and have been. Some entities produce more than others. No entity is wrong for producing this catalyst. This is the function, the operation of the physical plane. Each entity plays his or her part in the grand play upon your planet. Each, shall I say, does his or her thing, and the thing produces a wave of activity, which then adds to the great symphony of developmental forces acting at this time in your illusion. To embrace any specific set of developmental forces is perfectly all right, but shows that the individual has not fully understood the essence of these forces. There are very few entities on your planet at this time who have fully become aware of the essence of the developmental forces creating the growth of understanding that is the function of your planet. Seeking, my friends, is the nature of life. Seeking is the major awareness. For you see, seeking is all that there is. Seeking occurs in the physical plane when the individual becomes aware of themselves and of one's nature. It is normal at this point for the individual to seek an answer to the riddle of life. Through the seeking, he or she then begins to know oneself. The seeking then must turn inward and Analyze each thought and the foundation for that thought, each action and the foundation for that action, and each response the individual gives for an exterior catalytic action. Through the process of seeking self-knowledge, the individual is able to create a self that is more aware of the true nature of the creation in which one finds oneself. This is the process of growth on your physical plane. There are other processes, both occurring on your physical plane and at other realities, shall we say. However, the process of which I am speaking is the elementary process upon your plane and is of the greatest importance. And one last note before we leave. We ask that you become more and more able to take yourself with the seriousness necessary to observe yourself, to learn from yourself, from all of to think. For as you find yourself, you will also find the divine creator. There is no possibility of any miracle of understanding unless you are prepared for this miracle by the thankless task of sorting out yourself. Furthermore, enlightenment will pass from you as does the bloom from the wildflower if you have not the courage to share it. We seek to serve as also do you. May we join together on the journey to love. The journey is love, my friends. Therefore, we leave you in that love and in the light of the one who is all. We are those of Hatan. Adone, my friends, Adone Vasu.